NASCAR stock car racing is the sport of the 90s, and today it's the richest, most attended event on the world's most famous racetrack. From the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the fourth running of the Brickyard 400.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And I'm at Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale, sort of like where I was in my last video. And I do the live TV coverage on history and FYI, and that keeps me pretty busy to where I don't usually end up buying things. But I blacked out and I bought a pace car. Now GM was selling 20 pace cars from their heritage collection, unloading all of them, no reserve, at Barrett Jackson. And I picked one up, but there is a big catch to these. So let me show you. No, I didn't buy a Z06 for $85,000. That was in the 2007 Allstate 400. Didn't do a Camaro ZL1 or any of the other Z06s. The most expensive pace car to sell actually was the SSR. This one, $125,000 at the 2005 Allstate 400. Now, these were driven by famous people like Ron Howard, Jay Leno, lapped some of these cars. Yeah, here's another beautiful ZL1 that I did not buy, $52,000. But yeah, you'd see the row of C6 Corvettes. No, I'm in the cheap seats over here. I had to buy the cheapest pace car in the USA. And you know, there's some cool old Monte Carlos. You could get an SS, you know, with the supercharged 3800 like I had in my Park Avenue Ultra. But I didn't buy that, you know, $19,000, a little bit too much for me. I think that one's not a supercharged one. $21,000, no, that's not quite in the budget. $22,000, no. And you want to buy one that has been painted. So these are painted on and clear coated versus the ones that are just sort of sticker packages. So this is a painted one, that makes it special. And I think this one was a bargain at $22,000. But then, you know, there's ones that just are stickers. And this one brought a lot for being just a sticker car with a stock paint job, $26,000. But mine, well, you're looking at her. I bid on it without even really looking at it. I was just sort of like, that one's going cheap, and turned out, yeah, to be the cheapest pace car at $16,000, a 1998 Monte Carlo that was in the 1997 Brickyard 400, and it still retains its original fade yellow to white paint job, Indy Motor Speedway stickers, all the lights that are fully functional. It is a Z34, I think the first year of the 3800 V6 in these, like 180 horsepower. But here's the crazy part. It's been in the Heritage Museum since it was around the track, and it only has 782 miles on it, but it is brand new. Unfortunately though, you buy these with a big catch, and I'll explain why. But first I have to go do the TV coverage for 7 hours, and then I have to figure out how to get this thing out of here, get it home. Will it even drive very far? Because it has been sitting for so long. It is a total time capsule. But yeah, I'll see you in about 7-8 hours. And I gotta say, Bill, I have been and always shall be your fan. Live long and prosper.
Crazy, man. And now, to continue the show, we have a car for sale here, and as soon as he's revived, he'll get in the car. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, Bill. Let's have a look at this Lincoln.
Okay, we got a total mystery. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, saw it was going cheap, bought it. No idea if it drives after being in a museum for 25 years, but so far so good. Sounds quiet. Actually sounds pretty good. Look at that fade job.
First day, Mike. Can I be in one of your videos?
Huh. Did it need a jump?
No, it started right up.
Oh, does it, the lights work? Oh, no. I don't think did they come on?
Lights? Oh, no, the blinkers have it. It's on Eagle GSCs. They haven't made these since the 90s. This is what
really
came on. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I don't think the lights, the strobes work, or that's not the switch. Okay, got the keys. Come on. Starts right up. We have headlights. We have service engine soon. on a 783 mile. Okay. Not bad, but no lights. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, well, there's something for the wizard to look at, I suppose. Maybe just a fuse. All right, let's roll. Yeah, total time capsule. Well, the air doesn't blow cold either. It's just been sitting in a museum for 25 years. We're probably just moving it around, going to add like 5% of the total miles. Good night. Oh, yeah. Well,
That's pretty strong.
I'd say, I don't know if there's a little extra sauce in these pace cars, but woo!
I didn't know 90s Monty could move this way.
Well, it's the first year of the Series 2 3800, which was, yeah, I think about 200 horsepower.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm assuming we're running on what can only be assumed is 1995 gasoline.
I don't know, yeah, there's not very much in it, and yeah, interesting.
It made a smell because I don't think it's ever done that.
Yeah, I think we're burning off that newish smell, or, you know, residual, just a little bit of oil leak and stuff. Yeah, it feels nice and tight. Just insane 780 miles. Yeah, no lights. All right, well, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Well, it's actually been a few mornings since that trip to Scottsdale. I'm back in Kansas in Hoovie's Garage 3.0, and actually the pace car isn't too far behind me. It got picked up right away. It should be here in a couple of hours, and I learned a lot about the car just researching after I bought it, which you shouldn't do. Usually you should research before, but I sort of shot from the hip and bought it because it looked cool, and now I realize why it looks so cool. I'll talk to you about it here a little bit in the tour when it shows up, but first, I would like to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. I was one of those guys that had everything a few years ago that I'd ever wanted, but I just wasn't happy most of the time. It was like a paralyzing darkness where getting little things done just seemed impossible, and I had bursts of anger, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and I think you all started to see it. It started to come through the cracks a little bit in my YouTube videos. So when I was matched with a BetterHelp therapist a few years ago and started actually talking about it with a professional for the first time, it helped pull me out of it, among other things, to the point where this goofy YouTuber you see right now has never been happier. BetterHelp is a platform where therapists and clients can communicate effectively and get the most out of therapy. There's a lot of tools like a private journal for you to use on your own for self-reflection and group sessions on different topics available every single day. Just fill out a questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And one of the best features is that if the therapist isn't the right fit, you can easily switch to another one until you find someone you can connect with. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. And with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. So if you're struggling and you think you benefit from a therapy session, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/HooviesGarage and get 10% off your first month of therapy.
From the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the fourth running of the Brickyard 400. No one needs to finish first more than Dale Earnhardt. The Brickyard's second winner is mired in the longest winless streak of his 20-year career. Will that streak end today?
Mary Holman George. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Come inside the speedway. He told me every time I drive inside this racetrack, there on the heart just stands up. This is a magnificent facility, and he'd love to win this race today.
There is something about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that is unequal. Maybe it's the fact that it's been here for 89 years and has seen such great competition and racing throughout the years. The pace car pulls off, and let's see if we get a start now as Ernie Irvan and Joe Nemechek lead them down.
We can see the cars accelerating, and Nemechek quickly dives to the inside.
Coming out of the pits and heavy contact against the second turn wall. Into turn number 4, and now onto the straightaway. Labonte makes a final run at him. He closes in. Will he make a move? He cannot do it. Ricky Rudd wins the fourth Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis.
Yes, it's here in Kansas in all of its pace car glory, August 2nd, 1997 Brickyard 400. And now I know why this thing looks so good to me compared to a normal Monte Carlo. This isn't a pace car edition where they made hundreds of them. This is a real pace car that lapped the race back in the day, and they did some extensive modifications for that to happen. And I would have no idea unless I found this one article archived by Motor Trend from Hot Rod Magazine where they talk about the modifications. So Jeff Smith drove it for the second time in 4 years, but here's the good part. The car is powered by a V6 that generates 235 horsepower at 5,200 RPM, which means this has about 35-40 more horsepower than stock, equivalent of the supercharged models. How they did that, I don't know. It doesn't say here, but that's why the thing felt so peppy earlier. Not only that, but besides the special badging, the yellow strobe caution lights, the front fenders and rear quarters have been modified to accept Goodyear GSC 245/50 R16 tires, and it's staggered in the rear even though it's a front-wheel drive car. But what that means is this is a factory custom wide body. Elliot was freaking out about the tires, but I should have been freaking out about the body modifications to make this happen. So not only does it have a custom paint job on it, but it's been radically customized body-wise. And yes, my laptop is very dirty and a lot of tabs are open. And then, yeah, look at the home page. Yeah, so that's how I roll. But you did notice the lights were going in that little film there. Well, I found the mother lode here in the trunk. Take a look at the huge board here with the Welland strobes there. So this was off. You switch it on and yeah, Indy floor mats as well. But there are all the strobes in all of its pace car glory, all working down low, up front. John Ross came out, he thinks these are out of a Camaro from the 90s that they integrated into strobes, but yes, they work, and they work fantastically. So I am so hyped, even though it is a Monte Carlo, but it is from the glory days of NASCAR. This race, the names are just so classic and quintessential prime era NASCAR. Ricky Rudd won the race, followed by Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Jerry Mayfield, Mark Martin, Johnny Benson Jr., Bill Elliott, Mike Skinner, and Ernie Irvin were the top 10 of the race back in '97. And of course, Dale Earnhardt, his winless streak continued for quite a while. But one piece of damage here, which I think is pretty cool, right here in the seat, it is torn. Very common in the pace cars because that's where the radio would sit on someone's hip. They would hop in, jump out, and they would tear the seats. Very common damage right there. And then all the embroidery in the front and the back. This controls the strobes right here, and it is working just fine. And then, like you saw, very low mileage. Now 795 miles on the odometer. But it does have that check engine light and no air conditioning, and it's been in a museum for 25 years, so you can guess where we're taking its real maiden voyage to. The Car Wizards. And we'll see what else he finds. Very, very snappy throttle response on this thing. And I wonder if the check engine light is on because it's been modified. But yeah, the power, ridiculous. It's a torque steer like crazy. But the power, very, very impressive. 235 might be a little underrated, I'm not sure. And yeah, the tires are ancient, so they're not really hooking up either, so it just spins. You know, it reminds me of like a 300 horsepower North Star front wheel drive, like the El Dorado or whatever, where the torque steer, it's just crazy. And now I'm smelling burning rubber. Now, there is one big downside to these NASCAR real pace cars. All 20 of the ones they sold, including the one that sold for $125,000 or the Z06 that sold for $75,000, they were all sold on junk titles, which means they cannot be tagged and registered for public use on public roads. Now, there's probably a few ways to get around that, a few states where you can sneak through since it's not salvaged, it's a junk title, some inspections or whatever. I'm not sure how that goes with Kansas, but technically I guess what I'm doing right now is kind of illegal. Although I have a dealer plate, a full use plate I can put on any vehicle I want, and that's one way around it. But yes, it does have a junk title, even though it has almost 800 miles on it, and yeah, just brand new in the wrapper. And that's because GM doesn't want the liability of selling a car for street use that has all these lights, all these modifications, and then something bad happens and they get sued. So they unloaded a bunch of cars, but then they were able to cover their butts at the same time. But it has been forever since I've driven a nice one of these, or the Buick Regal. Everything else was on this platform, some Oldsmobiles. And man, are they a nice place to be. Comfy seats, nice ride. These were very affordable cars back in the day. And yeah, it is kind of plastic fantastic, you know, inside a lot of hard plastics, but they do offer a pretty nice, pretty luxurious experience for a lower price point. And that's something that you really don't find today. Cars are so expensive, and automakers are chasing those higher priced cars at higher margins and really don't want to build cheap cars like this anymore. And when they do, they don't want to do a good job of it because they want people to buy the more expensive models. So that's the world we live in today, and sadly they will never make a car like this, or the Buick Park Avenue Ultra that I sold, or so many in this 3800 era V6 of GM, which was just so good. And I've got a time capsule. We'll see what the Wizard thinks. Yeah, you still see a lot of Buicks on the road in this platform, but most of them, yeah, they look like that. Not to shame this person too much, but dented fenders, you know, duct tape keeping the window up, that kind of stuff. Oh, fire truck. Maybe they need my strobes to help them. I can set the pace for them. Wizard! I'm setting the pace, Wizard!
You're doing it for Dale.
Yeah!
You ain't first, you're last. You ain't first, you're last, Ricky Bobby, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, my dad has a story. We're from Alabama.
Uh-huh.
Talladega.
Yes?
When he was a kid, there would be guys flying down the highway at 130 with people in lawn chairs in the back of a truck drinking beer. Just fly, going to Talladega.
Right, for NASCAR?
Yeah! Telling you what, they were doing it for Dale.
Well, this one's a Brickyard, so it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They did the race starting in, I think, 1994, where they started racing NASCAR at Indy, even though the track was, you know, 100 years old at that point. But yeah, this is a real pace car, not like a Tribute or one of 200. This is the one of 2 pace cars used in the race. You probably noticed the little wide body treatment. Yeah.
Got a bulge right there.
She got big hips to fit the original tires on it. So, yeah, these Big Eagle racing tires.
I've got my original tires on today, too.
Oh, yeah. You got an owie on your toe?
Yeah. Actually, it's my Halloween costume. I'm going to be a Walmart shopper for Halloween.
Oh, okay. Well, very nice, yeah. Well, I'm going as a pace car driver.
Yeah.
I'm a Monte Carlo. But, yeah, look inside. Give it a sniff and look at the odometer.
I got to sit in it to get the stuff.
Okay.
It's like brand new.
It is. Look.
Smells like 1997.
Yes. And 834 miles on it.
What?
Yep.
834?
834.
It's not even broke in yet.
No. Well, it has had probably 100 of pace laps going very fast. And actually, it's been upgraded, not just the body modifications, but they said the 3800 has 235 horsepower under the hood. And I can't see where they found an extra 40 horsepower from stock.
Maybe tuning or exhaust or something?
It has a cool exhaust for
Let's
sure.
take a look.
Yeah. I'll turn the strobes off. Here we go. How about that time capsule, huh?
This is what you would have liked to have on your lot back when you were a car salesman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were plenty of low mileage, little old lady 3800 Buicks and Chevys and stuff that I would buy. Every single one of them. This is definitely stepping back in time. The thing you'd always do, you'd take the oil cap off and then pull back the plastic cover because you always wanted to check the intake, right? Mm-hmm. Very common failure point, these plastic intakes and all the failures
right down
there.
And through here. You know?
Mm-hmm. And
EGR.
This is...
It's even got the plastic elbows still on the coolant elbows there.
Might be the last one on the planet with them, right?
Yeah, most of them are metal by now. They've been upgraded.
And the original intake.
That is so cool.
Takes you back, huh?
10-5-21. They did a brake flush.
They did a brake flush, and then they put a battery in it to sell it at auction. But yeah, otherwise pretty untouched.
It's like brand new.
I wonder, they probably change the oil every once in a while because it was in the GM Heritage Museum. They were selling about 20 pace cars, so this was the cheapest one.
Look in there, it's like shiny aluminum color. There's no oil staining at all.
Whoa.
That is so cool.
Yeah. I see a little extra, I think, business for the wiring for the strobes, I imagine.
Yeah,
but
that's what that is.
otherwise, boner stock is what it is. Yeah.
Boner stock.
Yeah.
I'm curious, all those wires you just saw, where's all the control module and all the things for this?
Oh, yeah. I found that. It's in the back. Okay. Yeah, because initially the strobes didn't work when I was picking it up at the auction at night. I was so sad.
Oh, wow.
And then I popped the trunk, and this was off.
Oh,
like
it's a
that.
master switch. Okay.
Yeah. But all the Wellen strobes, 4 of them.
That is
bunch
so
of fuses. Cool. Very clean little install here, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And my Indy floor mats.
Here's some socks.
Oh, and some dirty socks. Yeah, I need to do some laundry, I suppose. Yes. But it's just, isn't this crazy?
That is so cool.
It is, even if it wasn't a pace car, just a 700-800 mile Monte Carlo.
With a 3800.
When's the last time you've seen one?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Especially this clean.
But there are some problems. So,
of course.
Check engine light is on. No air conditioning.
No AC.
No turn signals, which I imagine it might be because they swapped them for the strobes. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
I'd rather have the strobes, obviously, than turn signals. I can stick my arm out. And yeah, whatever else you'd find, because this thing has been sitting in a museum, although the GM Heritage Museum does take care of their stuff. So.
Yeah, it seems like they have been by what I've seen under there.
Right. Well, you want to see if it scans?
Yeah, we can see if it scans, and then I'd like to get in on the lift and see what 834 miles looks like.
Absolutely.
Well, there it is, Ricky Bobby. Heated oxygen sensor, bank 2. Insufficient activity, bad sensor.
So the little heater to get the oxygen sensor up to temp is not working?
Right, so a new oxygen sensor would fix that, and that's the only code, that's it.
Well, hopefully the oxygen sensor fixes it, because then you, on the FJ Cruiser, you replace that, and then I was spending $1 billion on catalytic converters. But hopefully this thing has cats on it. I don't know. It does sound pretty spicy.
Well, they set this thing up for the Brickyard 400. They said they had extra horsepower. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, let's see if there's any mods, huh? Up on the lift?
Yep.
All right, in we go.
Let's see what 834 miles looks like.
Whoa.
Look, it still has the plating on the starter, the CAD plating.
Wow.
Oh.
Whoa.
You see the oil?
Yeah?
Your compressor's leaking. It needs a new compressor, I guarantee it. This seam has leaked the refrigerant and oil out.
Yep, and it's the only splooge on this otherwise pristine engine bay.
But the rest is perfectly fine. Just needs a compressor and you'll be back in business.
Right, but look how accessible everything is, even with a transverse mounted car. Like the starter's just right there, the AC compressor's right there. Everything on top's easy to reach. The oil filter is kind of interesting, but still serviceable, right?
It was done in 21.
Yeah, probably do it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brakes look good.
I'd hope so.
Everything. I mean, what other than that little AC leak, I don't think we're going to find anything. Wait a minute. What is all this grime from?
Huh.
Like grease or some kind of orange grease at the bottom of the strut here?
Would it be something left over from the race?
I think someone greased something like the ball jointer. I don't know. It's too much. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like orange grease. It's not coming from the CV boot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it's assembly lube from the factory?
That'd be weird. That is a lot of it.
It's all inside the wheel. We'll have to definitely dig in and see what's going on there.
Okay, but not on the other side as much, huh?
Yeah, this one's dry.
Huh.
It could be the CV boot over there is leaking. Let me check again.
Really closely. Or is it coming out of the front side? No. Huh.
I don't see anything. The CV boot's dry.
Interesting, the wheel weights are just sort of taped in with duct tape. It's not on the inside of that one, too.
Nice.
But,
uh-oh.
Huh.
No
Wheel.
cats. There's no cats.
There's a big hump for something, and yeah, it doesn't exist, so they straight piped it.
Straight pipe, big pipe, all the way to the duals back there.
So there's no point in replacing that oxygen sensor because the check engine light'd still be on, huh?
I don't know if it has cat monitoring. They must have turned it off because it has no codes for cat monitor.
I suppose we could try, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why this thing was sold on a non-street title, unfortunately.
That would be one,
so,
probably.
Yeah, they did a lot of modifications for the track, and they didn't want to go put it back, so.
That's it. I'm calling the EPA right now.
Hey, well, okay, I'll call OSHA on your Crocs there, because yeah, that's kind of open toe, isn't it?
OSHA only applies to employees, not owners.
Oh, well, okay. But this undercarriage, it is ridiculous.
Flawless.
But very custom exhaust.
Very much.
Yeah, this fuel tank is, it's a brand new Monte Carlo.
It is. None of that gunky grease back here.
Just the taped on wheelways.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Very race car. Careful. That's part of the heritage.
Yeah, I'll leave that there. Other than your grease splooge and your AC compressor, I really see nothing. And probably some tires. You might need some tires.
I don't know, because these are original. It's not like I'm going to be driving this thing a bunch, and they're smooth, they're fine. It's part of the charm. You can't get these tires anywhere. The Goodyear Eagles that basically sponsored sort of the build on this, they wanted these tires on it, and they had to flare out the car to make it. So I think swapping the tires would be, at least putting them away and getting another set maybe,
Right,
but
yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be driving it enough for it to really matter. And if I keep it under, 65, 60, it probably won't blow up. But yeah, it's funny that the NASCAR back in the 90s was based on this, a front-wheel drive vehicle. In 87, the Monte Carlo was still rear-wheel drive. That was the last year. And then, I think they did Luminous for a while until the Monte Carlo came back. So, yeah.
Barrett Jackson. I understand you got to meet somebody there.
Oh, yes, William Shatner.
William Shatner?
Yes.
Yeah, you sent me the pictures. That was
His
amazing.
Jaguar, he was selling it there. And I got to do the Spock Live Long and Prosper Wrath of Khan Death. So, very goofy, yes. But yes, lifelong dream to do that. And the pace car, this was really fun.
It's really cool.
I just couldn't help myself. I just impulsively bought it, but it is really cool. I'm happy.
It's something you can keep as a party trick.
I suppose, yeah. A few little fixes, and then, it'd be fun to have around for sure. Just like you, a few little fixes on your feet, and
It'll be good to go.
you're good, yeah. Thank you so much for watching.